welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful week and you're ready for another talk. This week we talk about holidays, but of a different type. We will be talking about cultural holidays, those types of holidays that are not exactly the traditional holidays in the beach or shopping or those things, but something a little different. Museums, history, monuments, and things like that. So stick around. Let's talk. So let's talk about holidays. Let's go. I bet everyone these days is thinking about having a good holiday and relaxing somewhere, either in their own countries or overseas. But with the restrictions, it might be still a little bit complicated. But we can only try and start planning because vaccination rates are high and we really need to start planning. So, today I bring you a slightly different type of holiday that goes a bit away from the usual beach holiday, shopping holiday, whatever those traditional types of holidays, those touristic and traditional destinations. We are talking about cultural holidays when you just go and find out the culture and find out the history about the place you visit. It might be in your own country or it might be somewhere else. In fact, it is a truth and said, I would say, that most of us go and visit places overseas, and sometimes they find out about the history of other countries and find out about amazing things overseas, and they don't know their own countries. And in their own countries, they have definitely amazing places to visit as well. I know it happened to me in regards to Portugal, and it is happening in regards to Australia. I don't know all single places in Portugal and all the single history attractions in Portugal, as well as I do not know all the attractions in Australia. So it is something that happens with all of us, and I'm pretty sure if you are watching me at now and you are obviously thinking about the same thing, there is a lot of things in your own country that you have heard about but you have never visited, and there's other things in other countries that you actually know. So I think it happens to all of us. So, what are cultural holidays? Well, this is a different type of holidays, especially now that even though the rates of vaccination are obviously increasing worldwide, and a lot of countries are starting to open up and ease some restrictions and impose another type of rules that will lead to our COVID normal life. Um, some restrictions are still there, and one of them is that crowded places is definitely not a good idea. So we might be thinking about going on holidays, but obviously those places that where we're gonna see millions of people may not be the chosen place. So why not going for something different? Why not going for a cultural holiday? Choose a place and choose your itinerary based on the history of that place, where you can visit museums, where you can visit monuments, maybe even go for the gastronomy and visit different places, wineries, and find all these little things about the culture and about the history of the place, either in your own country or overseas. That will definitely will be lots of fun because you learn lots of things. You will discover new places, and it's an adventure. And then that will lead to lots of memories for the future. So it is a good thing, and it always is a good learning thing because you will learn about the history and the culture of the place you are visiting, And maybe, for example, if you are visiting um, something that is connected to maybe a darker page in the history of that country, you may actually see how some decisions and some things made in the past affected negatively the community and the world, and how we can learn from those mistakes and not make them in the future. So it is also a good way of coming in contact with mistakes done in the past, that and seeing them. It's actually a way of understanding things. I remember when I visited Japan and I went to Hiroshima. Um, it was an eye-opening experience for me. We all learn of the bombs and what happened in Japan with Hiroshima and Nagasaki, but we all learn it from history books. All learn about it from a distance. But when you actually visit one of those cities and you actually there and you actually can see and enter in that museum and you can see the reality of that day and what happened in that day, it really gives you a different perspective. It really gives you um, the knowledge and empowers you to think of the wrongs done in the past, and that you should work to not repeat them in the future. So it's also a good thing to make us understand history better, because sometimes we learn history obviously at school, and we may know that something happened, that this or that. For example, I'm thinking about the Anzac Cove in Turkey. I'm thinking about, for example, Auschwitz in Poland. um, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, all these places. We learn from all these places. We learn about the horrible things that may have happened in all those places. But we never been there, and until we are, we really have a distant perspective of things. And this type of holiday, obviously, I'm not saying that it's going to be mad fun to visit Hiroshima. I'm not saying that. It wasn't at all. It was a very somber day. It was a very heavy day. And I would say you need to be prepared. And I think nothing prepares you to visit that museum, because it's really, really horrid, the things that you will find there. But nevertheless, I think is a very important experience to have. And I think sometimes we really need to come into this reality of things, and really see things with our own eyes, to see how they affected the world. So um, in a more lighter approach, obviously there will be things, there will be more somber, there will be things, there will be sadder, and there will remind you of very dark pages in our history. But there will be also great things that you can visit. For example, ruins of ancient civilizations that will tell you a tale of ancient people and things like that. And it's always made fun, because you can always imagine how they lived and what they how they lived their lives, what they did, everything. And it's also good. You can get in contact with the culture, you can get in contact with the people as well, and know so much about the country that obviously um, a shopping center or a beach, or all those traditional things will ever be able to provide it. So give it a go. Visit the story of a country. And that's all for today. I hope you really like this talking about holidays. I hope you're already booking yours, and you really took some ideas of what you might think about when booking your next holidays. As always, if you have any suggestions of beautiful places that you have visited, museums, history, whatever, please share. We all want to know about them. We all want to try them. Or if you actually disagree with me and you think, nah, that's not for me, share as well, because it's always nice to hear from you. You know, put a like on the video so the algorithm, the story, and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a talk every week. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. See you next week. Thank you very much. Bye.